I won't test you like you better get.
No, that's fine.
Oh.
Can I get rid of this person in the room? Oh, yes.
A week. More stuff, and maybe even work with Rich to get more, if we need to keep live stream. Yeah, I thought we had. Whatever. We'll talk and see what he uses to, I don't know.
I still have one fine one that I like to talk in. I was thinking about, how am I gonna talk for 7 hours? There is.
It'll be hoarse. It'll be
You
hoarse.
know, man, the school year's done. You're already fully forced. That isn't gonna make it. No. They're looking at instead of 50%, and 55%. I'm in 5. Different group, one of the 4 days, and then they're home for 25% of the kids in a day. So I'll go over direct instruction. Show them all the things I have to do. That's what I figured out now. Now, I think they're gonna let us do more like we do.
Meeting will come to order. I'll do the speaking tonight. One person has to take their mask off. Mr. Butler. Present. Mr. Coleman. Present. Mr. Hallinan. Present. Mr. Holcomb. Present. Mr. Crannon. Present. Ms. Labasi.
Present.
Mr. McHale is present. Mr. Suma. Present. Mr. Morocco. Present. Also present, Mr. Miracek, Mrs. Lepocket, and Attorney Dempsey. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to announce there was an executive session immediately following the work session on July 27, 2019. And actually, right before this meeting, we also had an executive session. Floor is open for public discussion. Mr. Marichak, for public discussion, I believe you have an online.
Yeah, we asked our community if they had anything to post to our dsdinfo.com, and I had one, and it was a question about our CTC, our Rear Technology Center students. Are they going to be serviced? And the answer is yes. We are going to finalize, I believe, our plan tonight, which we'll turn it over to our CTC. They in turn are formalizing their plan, which I believe I will be looking at tomorrow. And our kids are going to be serviced. We're going to have transportation up. They're going to be in a hybrid model as well. And we're going to make sure that their education continues. That's all I have that came in via the DSD info. So if there's anybody else, Mr. President McHale, we're ready for that.
Okay, under public discussion, anyone here in the audience have a question? Please come up and state your name and address for the record.
You're fine with that.
Good evening, excuse me. Good evening. My name is Vincent Miko, 1733 Adams Avenue. First thing I'd like to say, as a parent of a graduating senior this year, I'd like to commend Mr. Marichak, Mr. Hopkins, Ms. Hart, and the board for a fantastic job. I can't tell you how much. I mean, obviously, you know how much it meant to our seniors, and as a parent, it was wonderful. First time I had a graduate, and I could not, as a parent, I could not be happier. So, again, thank you very, very much. You guys did above and beyond a fantastic job. My only question tonight is, I watched your last meeting, the June Zoom meeting, and a question was asked by 2 residents as to whether you were going to write a letter to Keystone opposing the expansion of the landfill. And I was just wondering where we were as a group on that. That's all I had. I was just wondering again where we were. Like if you went forward with Mr. Krannick's letter that he said he was going to write, you guys were going to review or just, I guess, some
If I,
guidance.
Mr. Amico, if I advised the school district previously, this is a community where the council is in charge of the community in terms of whether there's going to be a landfill or expansion of landfill. Our job is to dictate policy for the school district and classes of students without an educational background. You guys in the council are elected as officials to deal with those issues. We don't step into your realm, nor do we expect you to step into our realm. So our policy has always been that we deal with all the educational issues of the school district, and we don't deal with issues that come up from the Dunmore Borough Council. And that has been the policy of this board for the last 20, 30 years that I've been here. So that's what I advise the board now. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. Just as a, I guess, again, I'm not here to argue or anything, just as a, I guess, a rebuttal to Mr. Dempsey's comment. I do agree with you that, you know, council business is council business and school business is school business. I wholeheartedly agree. Like, I would never come here on behalf of the teacher, and I wouldn't expect you to come on behalf of, you know, firefighter or police or whatever. I agree with you. But on this issue, I think it affects our community as a whole, not only, you know, not only the business aspect of having a landfill in town. That to me really is irrelevant. My main concern is as a parent and, you know, the future health of my children and hopefully my children's children. And I believe that's something that, you know, I think it is in the district's wheelhouse to, you know, just make a statement on behalf of the health of, you know, our community and more importantly, in your world, students. So that's all I really wanted to say tonight. So again, thank you very much for your time. And again, I appreciate everything you did for our seniors. It really means a lot to me. Thanks again.
Anyone else for public discussion? Seeing none, we'll go to the motions. Motion to approve minutes of the regular meeting of June 24th, 2020. So moved. Motion by Mr. Hallinan, second. Second by Mr. Krannick. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. That permission be granted to the following for the use of district facilities and equipment. Number one, cross-country meetings in the DHS Cafe, 9/3/2020 and 10/22/2020, provided conditions allowed. Use of district facilities are subject to the conditions established by the Dunmore School District and may not conflict with any regularly scheduled activity. Motion by Mr. Suma. Second by Mr. Hallinan. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the relaxation of the school code to allow acceptance of virtual days and hours towards 180 days, 900 and 990 hours respectively. That's an attached also. Motion by Mr. Hallinan. Second by Mr. Butler. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to change Michelle Coquindo's title to Assistant Principal / Title I Coordinator, DEC, effective immediately. Terms are defined in the agreement.
Wait.
We don't have that.
How about motion B, number 2 under communication?
Good.
There was no agenda in the,
So we keep, number 2. Okay, motion to approve the reopening health and safety plan. The plan will be submitted to BDE and posted on our district website. Motion by Mr. Butler.
so moved.
Second by Mr. Coleman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Marichek, that is the reopening plan that you discussed at length on Monday night.
Correct, and I'd just like to add a comment that if anything should change between now and then, this board will be informed, reconvened, and vote on any addendums, amendments, attachments to that plan. And we can move forward, not having to wait for PDE's approval. We just need to submit it once this board approves it. So we know it's a fluid situation. If anything changes, we have the ability locally to take care of it. And that will be posted on our website and submitted.
I'd like to thank your whole administrative team and all involved, and it was a very big thing, and I know July is usually a very down month for schools, and something to take a breath this year. You have to forego some vacations and everything to do this, and we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, Mr. President, I just want to thank Mr. Marichak and everybody too. I know, unfortunately, we did not have a lot of, I'm not going to say support, but we had a lot of confusion coming from the state, which made Mr. Marichak's job even harder. So, thank you, Mr. Marichak. I think it's a pretty good plan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Number 3, motion to approve the emergency instructional time template, 520.1, attached. Motion by Mr. Holcomb.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Ms. Lavasi.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
President McKell, I want to comment on that as well. That was an addendum that came from PDE that will be dovetailed with that reopening health and safety plan. And it's just an assurance that says, okay, we're going to relax the 180, 900, 990 respectively. And the president of the board and myself, after our meeting, will have to sign off on several boxes in there, but that's what that's all about.
Thank you very much. Motion, please, to accept the resignation of Margaret Hart, Assistant Principal for the Junior Senior High School, effective date August 7th, 2020. Motion by Mr. Morocco.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Kranek. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Hallinan.
I would like to thank Mrs. Hart for her years of service, not only as an outstanding administrator, but in the classroom. And Peg, I hope your successor will be as successful as you are in contributing to the success of the school district. Thank you.
Mr. McKell, any question?
Mr. President, if I may.
Mr. Morocco.
Oh, I'm sorry.
First.
Yeah, Paul, wait. I just want to thank you also, Peg, for the years of service here as a teacher, as a really extracurricular person. Vice principal here, you did everything that was asked of you, and department transportation coordinator. I mean, it's a tough thing when you have to make a move like this. I mean, I had to do it, but again, the school district and its administration, we really appreciate what you have done. So good luck to you, and God bless you and your family, whatever you're going to do in the future.
Mr. Butler.
Also, Mrs. Hart, I'd like to thank you for your years of service. You always represented the Dunmore School District in a wonderful manner. God bless and good luck.
Mr. Coleman.
No, it's gonna.
Mrs. Hart, as I know you a long time, I know while this is a retirement, certainly you won't slow down. You'll come up with something, I'm sure. Good luck to you. Motion to accept the resignation of Eugenia Enoch, an elementary teacher, effective date June 12th, 2020. Motion by Mr. Suma. Second by Mr. Hallinan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to accept the resignation of Kathleen Butler, elementary teacher, effective date June 12th, 2020. Motion by Mr. Hallinan.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Butler.
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to accept the resignation of Mary Lynn Benefant, instructional aide, effective August 12th, 2020. Motion by Mr. Coleman.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Holcomb.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to accept the resignation of Donna Lotney, instructional aide, effective date June 12th, 2020. Motion by Ms. Lavasi,
So moved.
second by Mr. Morocco.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Now we're back to where I was. Motion to change Michelle Coquingo's title to Assistant Principal, Title I Coordinator, DPC, effective immediately. Terms are defined in the agreement with Act 93. Motion by Mr. Morocco,
So moved.
second by Mr. Kranek. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Give me a second, I want to make sure I'm doing the right one next. Okay. Motion G. Motion to appoint Bridget Catmeyer, elementary teacher, effective date August 24th, 2020. Terms are defined in the agreement with the Dunmore Federation of Teachers. Motion by Mr. Suma. Second by Mr. Hallinan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to appoint Josh D'Annunzio, elementary teacher, effective date August 24th, 2020. Terms are defined in the agreement with the Dunmore Federation of Teachers. Motion by Mr. Hallinan.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Butler.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to appoint Elizabeth Stefanski, special ed teacher, effective date August 24th, 2020. Terms are defined in the agreement with the Dunmore Federation of Teachers. Motion by Mr. Coleman.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Holcomb.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the dual enrollment agreement with Lackawanna College for the 2020-2021 school year. We did do this. I'm sorry. Motion to approve the dual enrollment agreement with Lackawanna College for the 2020-21 school year. Motion by Ms. Lavassi.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Morocco.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the revised athletic plan as part of the reopening health and safety plan, VA Department of Health face covering mandate. Motion by Mr. Morocco.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Cranick. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Marichek, you want to talk about the meeting?
Yeah, but the process, as I was trying to explain, if anything changes between the submission of the plan to BDE and the reality of what we're living, this is an example. When we first had our athletic plan, there was no mandate for face coverings or face masks. Since has been handed down from the Department of Health, so therefore we had to revise the plan. This board approves it right here, we will resubmit it to BDE. And there could be a million more changes between now and then moving forward.
Yes. Fortunately, that's the world we're living in right now. Next motion, the motion to approve the expulsion of student ID number 344-577-2916. Motion by Mr. Suma. Second by Mr. Hallinan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the agreement with New Story for the 2020-2021 school year. Motion by Mr. Hallinan.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Butler.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the agreement with the PA treatment and healing for the 2020-2021 school year. Motion by Mr. Butler.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Coleman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve a special education due process settlement agreement for the student ID number 814-571-6403. Motion by Mr. Coleman.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Holcomb.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the capital project payments, giant floor, $17,260. Motion by Mr. Holcomb.
So moved.
Second by Ms. Lavassi.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the renewal of the student accident/sports policy with PA Church Insurance Agency for 2020-2021 school year. Cummings Insurance is the producer. Cost of the policy is $16,995, which is a $495 increase from the prior year. Motion by Ms. Labassa,
So moved.
second by Mr. Morocco.
Second.
Mr. Marichak, real quick, let's just say hypothetically, there is no sports this year. Is this student accidents in school, is this sports related?
Both.
Both, okay. So it's like student accidents, the kid falls down the steps in school.
No, only in like gym class. I mean, it's sports related.
Okay.
It could go gym, cheer, but if there is no sports, the company requires documentation that the sport will not happen, and then there will be a percentage of the premium returned for whatever sport.
Perfect, thanks.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Motion to approve the school leader liability policy renewal for the 2020-2021 school year. The policy is with the school board's insurance company of PA. Lizzie Kelly Insurance Agency is the producer. The cost of the policy is $12,859, which is no increase from the prior year. Motion by Mr. Butler,
So moved.
second by Mr. Coleman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. End of the motions. Under new business, any member of the board have new business? Mr. Suman.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to take a minute, and I'm sure the whole board feels the same way. We gave a nice recognition of Mrs. Hart. She did an outstanding job here in years of service. But I think we'd be remiss not to remember Mrs. Enoch, outstanding teacher over the elementary center there, and also one of our outstanding long-term employees. I think she may be here about 50 years. I don't want to be age-related there, but Ms. Butler, can't say enough about Ms. Butler. I just want to thank all three of them for outstanding service they gave this district. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Suman. Mr. Hallinan.
I don't know if anybody here or any of us here are aware that Mr. Morocco is retiring as the statistician for the Dunmore Buck football team. Well, Joe, you're laughing, but you put in a lot of time that you dedicated to the team and those kids, and I think you should be recognized for it. You did an outstanding job, and I don't know what you're gonna do now, but.
I'm gonna watch the games with Butler. He's gonna buy me the hot chocolate.
Yeah.
I have to buy it for him.
Yeah, hot dog.
We don't want those, thanks for saying that, but I met at the time I was here, and you know, a long time, and I met so many nice people, kids that are adults now, they have kids. And they're really, a lot of them are pillars of the community. This is our son, Pat, great athlete, now a successful business guy down in Philly. And that's, you never get paid any money for it. You know, the thing about it is just the satisfaction that you
That's
get.
not the reason why you did it.
And you know what, you win all these championships, these kids. And you know, you're the coaches, but you know what, the biggest thing is, Dunmore got the best kids. I always said that, and no matter what we do, academic, sports. So congratulations to those kids and the kids that are coming
Those
now.
kids did what they had to do, but you did
Absolutely.
what you had to do. You gave them your time, you were always very cordial and friendly to people, and you handled that job with a lot of class to this district. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Joe,
it.
how many years, do you know?
Off and on, I think around 25. But hey, that was fun. It was
Anyone else under new business? Hearing none, President's report. I'd just like to congratulate on the retirement, all the people that retired. Mrs. Enoch, I know a long time. And of course, Miss Butler. I'm sure I make her sound old, but in 1970, I was a first grade student in Mrs. McDade's class in Jefferson School. And across the hallway was a young teacher in second grade, and it was Miss Butler. And Miss McDade said, she told my mom, when she went for a parent she said, that young lady loves teaching and loves children. And here we sit all these years later, and she's still at it. Commend her. Mr. Butler, I know the service to the community, you and your family, but Miss Butler is something special. My son, my son Will, who's graduated, actually invited her to this graduation party. That was his favorite teacher. All those years ago.
I'll pass it on.
And to all of them, very good luck in your retirement. Mrs. Hart, we'll miss you, but we know where you are. We'll be able to find you. I'd just like to commend the administration for everything. In the last couple of weeks, we've had graduation, teacher hirings, and a pandemic meetings about every other day. And had to pull all this together. We usually do not meet in July, but because of the circumstances with this pandemic, and everything, it's made us have a meeting to get all of this straightened out. We don't know where we're going, but I have to say, the whole administrative team went above and beyond the call of duty, and we thank you for all your service. Thank you very much. That's all I have under President's report. Superintendent's report, Mr. Marichak.
I'm going to be brief. I spoke enough the other night for 6 meetings, but there's no way we can get out of this meeting without thanking and recognizing the people, the names were just read. Absolute institutions, Dunmore School District. If you think about, first I want to thank Mrs. Hart, still working every day, doing great work with our transportation part of our pandemic team. Phone calls to almost every family in the district. Great job going down the stretch, Megan, and best of luck. And if you look at our teachers and our paraprofessionals, Mrs. Butler, or Miss Butler, Mrs. Enoch, Mrs. Benfonte, and Mrs. Lonnie, absolute institutions. The thing that's awe-inspiring, and most of you have spoken about it, about the number of students and the students' lives these great educators have touched. And I just want to wish them the best. Every time I see somebody who is retired, they look about 10 years younger. So I wish them the best and thank you for the efforts. Absolute institution, and you don't replace these people. You so can get someone happy. And they did a great job. So that's it. My
John, do I look here?
How long have you been retired now?
18 years.
People
So
are
I must be
retiring.
20 years coming up.
People are retiring to replace you probably. They're gone. Motion to accept the president's and superintendent's report and make them part of the minutes of the meeting. Motion by Mr. Coleman. Second by Mr. Holt.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Motion to adjourn to meet in regular session or at the call of the chair.
So
Motion
moved.
by Mr. Butler.
So moved.
Second by Mr. Cran. I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very